Hi, it's Helen from Heritage Organic Seeds, and today we are going to do the sow along for our winter purslane seeds that were in our January subscription box. So you might have heard of winter purslane before. It's also known as Claytona or miner's lettuce, and it's really great lettuce to be growing over the colder winter months. So let's get started. So I'm going to start mine off in this small propagator tray. I've just filled it with some organic compost, as you can see, so it's quite full. And then I haven't really done anything to the soil. I've just made sure it's a nice even layer. So we're going to take our seed packet. Do make sure that your soil is warm and at room temperature, because you don't want to be sowing your seeds into freezing cold wet compost, because they're not going to germinate and they're probably likely to rot if it's too wet. So our instructions say to start the seeds off in a small tray, and we're going to scatter the seed thinly and cover with a light layer of soil. So I'll pop mine into my hand like so. So they're really small, and hopefully you can see. Try and do it closer for you so you can see. We're just going to scatter those on the surface like so. A few more there. So just a nice thin, even layer. And then I'll pop those extra ones back in the packet. And then we're going to cover those with a very, very fine layer of soil. So not too deep at all. Just enough to cover the seeds. And then we are going to lightly water with a fine spray. So winter purslane will refuse to germinate if the temperature is too warm. It prefers temperatures of no more than 12 degrees centigrade. So we're going to aim for around 8 degrees. To be honest with you, I'm probably just going to keep these in the porch. They don't need any heat. They're greenhouse, I'd say it was still a little bit cold this week because we've just had all of that snow and ice. So I think the porch is probably going to be the best place for me at the moment. After a couple of weeks, when the seedlings have developed some small leaves, we can carefully prick those out and pot them individually into modules or into small pots. So I'll do another video when we get to that stage, but there is, if you get there before I do, there is a pricking out video about lettuces that I did a few months ago, and the process will be exactly the same. So I will link that in the description for this video, and then, like I say, if you get there before I do, you can just follow that video because it's exactly the same process. Once we've potted them on, we're going to allow the seedlings to grow on for a few more weeks to develop a really good healthy root system before we plant them out. And then your winter purslane seedlings will be ready to plant out when they're large enough to handle and have some nice healthy roots. When we plant them outside into the ground, we're going to plant them about 10 centimetres apart, and we're going to keep them well watered as they grow. And as with anything that we're growing over winter, it's a really good idea just to cover any plants that you plant into the ground, cover anything with a cloche or with some fleece, just to give them some extra protection from any hard frost that we get overnight. You can also grow your winter purslane in a greenhouse or polytunnel over the winter months if you have either of those. When it comes to harvesting, it's going to be nice and easy. We can either harvest the individual leaves as necessary, or we can cut the whole plant at the base, and this is best enjoyed freshly cut. So you can use winter purslane as you would a salad leaf. It's slightly more succulent than a standard lettuce leaf. You can also use it as you would spinach. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, but please do reach out if you have any questions at all.